The figure of Saint Barley disappeared, and left me alone in that room, stone cold and dehydrated. Only the silence hung around me, and my every action and thought was penetrated by its depth. As I listened, silence was the only response. As books nestled on tables, as tables gently marked the floor, only silence was created. And I felt that there could never be any such sound in the world as a figure known as Saint Barley putting his language forth to be heard. Sounds of such a level would surely be attempted only by those driven by either the greatest bravery or the most horrendous stupidity. Against this present silence, it was obvious that such sound would rip apart the very fabric of our bodies. Such a risk, I could almost sense the overbearing contempt of any leading scientist. By this reasoning, I felt myself assured that the situation I had experienced with Saint Barley must have come from some disagreeable food, or as a fantasy in sleep. To wait for 3 guiding spirits seemed to be the last thing I would ever do. So I waited, and within the hour came the first spirit. You were very quick getting here. Yes, I'm working in the area at the moment. Working? Yes. What sort of thing? I'm, singing. Singing. So, you're the ghost of Christmas past? Yes, I am. And I'm here to offer you a glimpse of my world that you might take and learn. An alternative way of living. Please walk with me across your room and stare through this rectangular space normally occupied by a window. Appreciate the wonderment of the activity in store. So who are these people? These particular people are my family, but they are an example of the larger culture in which they live. You are to view them and learn. They are eating right now? This is a meal time, yes. We call eating periods meal times. I see. But please learn by observation, not by the answers I give. It is the only way for true learning. But might I learn from the perspective you reveal by your answers just as well? Your people appear to be struggling to cut their food with tiny wood saws. The tools seem ill-suited to the task. My man, a word of advice. Cease this relentless search for answers. Instead, just learn. So this is the culture of your whole land, or just your family? I have to go now. The ghost of Christmas past left, and so I waited for the second spirit. A knock came at my front door, a heavy hand, full of wisdom. Down the stairs, opened the door. Nobody lay behind. A window smashed above me. I stepped outside and turned around to peer up at the jagged broken glass on the second story. Behind, there was movement. Somebody appeared to be shifting furniture around in my living room. So it was to that room I returned, closing the front door back up the stairs. Inside, various items fluttered in the new breeze. I heard some creaking outside the window, crossed the room urgently to catch what I might, and there below me caught somebody at ground level leaving the base of my drain pipe and rushing off into the distance. For a moment or two there he was, getting smaller and smaller, until he completely disappeared, and then he was gone. So I turned around and looked at the mess. Resting face up on the table in the centre of the room, a note took my attention. It said, "Dear Ebony, we tried to find you at home, but you were out. We know you weren't in and sleeping, because after looking all around the house, we made a great deal of noise by breaking things and received no audible reply. We hope this note takes your attention more effectively. Sorry for the inconvenience. Yours, the Ghost of Christmas Present, also known as Intrusion Theatre Company. P.S. I've taken all my props, i.e. your belongings, away with me." The telephone rang. I answered it. "Hello?"
Hello there. Is that Ebony? This is the Ghost of Christmas Yet to Happen. I've decided I don't want to pay all that money to travel over there, and thought you should pay instead. You should come over here.
"Over where?"
Catch the next plane.
"Where to?"
You'll find out when you get here. It's the next plane you need to get. Hurry up or you'll miss it. I'll see you in 7 hours.
He hung up first.